Hi, welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. Let's take a look at this. I'm now coming up. I'm now 5.1. Had a little bit of a low blood sugar today. It got down to 3.8. Now that is quite low for me. I usually don't go that low, but today I did. So I did not take glucagon because lunch was being served. I have to calibrate by 7, by 5:53, almost 6. We'll do another calibration. Dinner time. Basal rate stopped. That's amazing, isn't it? Didn't have any basal rate. That could be that I dropped low, so it's trying to correct me. Imagine that. Okay. I can see basal, if you can just barely see. Right up there by 22, it's giving me just a little sliver of a basal rate starting because I'm now over 5.1. So it's going to try to keep me under control of it. Pretty good. Today I want to talk to you a weird title for today. 47 years of service. Stay tuned, we'll be right back. This channel is provided for informational purposes only. Contact your physician for any diagnostic or treatment plan. 47 years of service. What do I mean by that? I mean, for 47 years, I have got up every day. I have taken my blood sugar, my urine sugar, or whatever, taken the shots, and I'm still alive today to say it. Actually, I just want to see if it... Okay, it's not on here. I thought I could have a countdown for you. But for 47 years, I've seen a lot, and I've dreamed of that day when someone would say, I am cured of diabetes. When I was diagnosed 47 years ago, we weren't expected to live up to 47 years. No insurance company would touch a type 1 diabetic. And now we've progressed. We now can expect to live a normal length of time. I look back at my life, all the stumbling blocks. For me, it was my labile diabetes, and I've had a few minor infections, cellulitis, but I've had some real tough infections. My first one was I got pneumonia. And I got sick with a cold. Didn't really take precautions, just kept working. It kept getting heavier in the chest, but I kept working. I had to do 5 nights at my work, and I got the job done. I finally decided to go to the doctor. He sent me to get an x-ray and came back. And by the time I got home, he was on the phone saying, "I'm calling an ambulance." Okay, so I opened up the door to the ambulance. They took me like 4 blocks to the hospital. And while I was in there, I achieved my highest blood glucose of 72.8. Now, I've done this before. I can't remember what it is. For those of you on the American understanding, so let me find it here. 72.8 times 18 equals 1,310. Needless to say, I spent a night in ICU. And it took them a while to bring down my blood sugar. I had 3 IVs. 2 of them were giving me insulin. One was giving me antibiotics, and then they decided, oh well, we'll just give you fluids as well. So each of my extremity had an IV. I learned there that we are susceptible to infections. We can't if we're going to live long lives, we can't let infections get out of control. My next was what thought to be an infection, was treated for like an infection, but it ended up to be Charcot's foot. These are all things that probably, maybe not Charcot's foot, but most of these things I'm discussing could have been avoided if we had done something and maybe taken care of ourselves. The most recent one I had was I had a red, warm, infected leg. And I kept telling my doctor, something's wrong with my leg. nothing was ever done until he finally listened. He did notice that it was warm and puffy. This was actually my endocrinologist. He sent me to a wound care clinic. Okay, so I went there, I think, 3 times. And then November 28th, I supposedly called my friend, and I was sort of really out of it. And he did a home test, and it just said hi. And thank God he called an ambulance. I would be one going, oh, damn, why did you have to call the bloody ambulance? But he called. I spent all of December, January, February, and most of March in the hospital. During that time, I was delirious. Sugar in our blood promotes this type of growth. And as such, we continue to grow and to learn. But if we don't pay attention, this is where things are going to happen. You know your body. You need to know when you get sick what's happening. What are the signs for you? If you want to be a long life diabetic and live a long, full life, have children, get married, get that dream job you wanted, control is the first important. I know I've said it before, but any little cut, you're not feeling well, can very easily send you the other way. Every day, diabetics can drop a low blood sugar. But people who are not a T1D don't realize how we can become really sick really fast. And I'm not talking DKA, but DKA could be onto it. When I went to the emergency that day, they got me on IV insulin. My pump, I stopped working on my pump and they gave me IV insulin. I was on the IV insulin for 2 weeks. And then they decided to take me off there. So I've had 1 bout of DKA. Okay, so they brought me out of DKA. They decided, okay, time to get us back on the pump. I got back on the pump, and guess what happened? I went into DKA again. And they brought me out again, tried to pump again. And all of a sudden, my body was craving for more insulin. My needs had been dropping. I was fighting going low. I was passing out all over the place. And now my body wanted more insulin. We went through it here again. I don't know what caused me to go into DKA. Somehow, some sort of infection. But I ended up in intensive care with DKA. And I would come out of it, and I would go back into it. The doctor did not realize that it wasn't this that wasn't working, it was this that it wasn't working. His idea was to get shots going. So, while being set up for DKA isn't going to maybe kill you once, but if you're not on top of things, if you start noticing your blood sugars are increasing and you're not necessarily feeling well, hello, doctor? Maybe see what's going on. Chances are there's something going on. My last time in the hospital, it was my leg. And that sent me, I was so delirious. And I always thought that delirium was always for people with type 1, but for low. You know, like, oh yeah, I can't, you're out of it. But DKA can also send you into delirium. I thought they had moved my bed into a garage by an elevator, like a parkade garage. I don't know why. Probably looking over and seeing the window, and it looked like looking out, it was probably cold in the room or something. Another time, I believed the nurses had taken over the wards. Right, they were going against what doctors wanted. And this was after I got a colonoscopy in my room. But it was done in a nurse's basement and then across into a family room. And this nurse was trying to give me rice pudding. And I thought, she doesn't know what she's doing. So I made it 47 years. I'm damn well gonna try for another 47. Life has never been easy as a diabetic, but if you're under control more often, if things do send you out of whack, it's easier to come back right away. Did I ever feel like giving up? Well, there was one time I had my birthday, and I just kept partying. Oh yeah, I can have Coke. You see, nothing happens. And then one day, I just was feeling so ill, my blood sugar was so high, and we go through the same routine again. Into emergency. DKA, getting treated. But try to keep things tightly controlled so you have a long life and you can get what you want out of life. It's important to remember and always to do that. 47 years as a diabetic here. I'm going, sorry, by the time this airs, I am 60 years old, and we keep going every day trying to get things under control. I don't always have success, just the same as I'm sure you don't always have success. But I don't say, I don't know, I'm not going to do anything. You can do it. Have a great day, and we'll talk again soon. Bye now. My email is mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com. mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com.